Okay, people. So it's October 10th, 2019. My eyes are really, really bad. So anyway, they're actually clouding over right now. It takes about 15 minutes, but I'm working on ShaMay stuff here, right? I was in the yard mowing the grass front and back today and weeding. And it's starting to get cold out there. So, only so much time to do this. So, what's happened here is I've found another program. The one that I edit my videos with. It actually has a picture thing here. So, what I've done is moving along, right? And what I'm going to show you basically is when the skin starts to turn black, which can happen anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, but normally within 2 to 3 days, because there's variables in there in regards to, the environment and what they're wearing and that type of thing. So if they're on the outside and it's cold versus on the inside where it's warm, and body weight also plays a factor. People that are heavier weight, they tend to decompose faster than skinny people like me. And I guess that has to do with the body fat, right? And age plays a difference, and general body, health, like the individual's health at the time of their death. Age plays a difference. So there's lots of variables, but the set rule is anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, the skin can start turning black, right? It will go green, and then it will go purple, and then it will go black. So within 8 to 12 hours, that process can start. And if it hasn't started by that time, it will by day 2 or 3. Unless, of course, they're in water or something, then that's different, right? But in an open environment, right, it's just the way it is, people. Now, the reason for embalming, though, is to slow down that process. They can't prevent it from happening. They can only retard it or slow it down. Okay? And this is why I say ShaMay was embalmed in the hospital, because that's the only way they can prevent the skin going black, developing multiple blisters in a short period of time, right? We're talking days. Skin slippage, right? Because once the skin starts to turn black, then it starts to, shave off, right? And I have some pictures here I'm going to show you as a comparison. Now, what we're going to look at here is ShaMay's, I guess you want to say, half-brother through Tisha's brother, right? On Tisha's father's side, right? He was holding ShaMay's hand. Now, I'm pretty sure this was on the 19th, right? Because I've already basically looked at the 2 pictures from the 16th, right? But I have to verify it. So it's either the 16th or the 19th. I will verify it in a different video. So I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to show you. Right? I don't know how the camera is going to pick up on this. Now, this is a different program, you can see. And what I've done here, I'm going to try not to hold it because I find that's a better video versus me rocking and rolling. Although I think sometimes I'm going to have to hold it, so I'm just going to do as I do, right? So basically what you're looking at here, okay, I'm going to show you. Do I need to bring this as far back as it can go? I've been boring people. I haven't been getting very many views. right? But first of all, there's nothing cheery going on in life. All right? Yard work is yard work, is yard work will always be yard work. And I'll just try and make it. That doesn't look very straight. Something's crooked. It's just on a box with a bunch of books. I don't know if you figured out what you're looking at, but I'm going to tell you in a minute. This has been, I have put this through what is called exposure. It's like a negative. And you can see I've already started to change. Right? This has been opened up from another picture, which I will show you. But we're going to start off, oops, sorry, wandering eye. This is because I can't see people. We're going to start off with this first. Because I want, I clearly want you to see what I'm telling you. Okay, so here is the outline of ShaMay's hand. That's basically all you're going to see here. And it goes down in here, right? And then, see? Maybe if I just lift it up a bit. There we go. And then all this in here, which is extremely black. You don't see nothing, okay? This is Jerome's hand. His thumb is right here, right? And it's like quite the difference. But what I want you to look at is I'm going to show you where her skin, I guess I'll put that down, was turning black, was starting to turn black. Okay? And it's right up in here, and this is why I'm doing the contrast. Now, I took the time and I saved pictures, but they're coming out really small, and so I've decided to do it this way. And since I've done it this way again, right, what I'm seeing over here, see, this is where I kind of need to move the camera, people, right? Otherwise, you won't see it. And you know, for me to try and take pictures, I'll show you what happened to the pictures that I did. Because I cropped them at this size, you know, I did my adjustments, whatever, and then I saved them, but they're coming out really, really small. So, for whatever reason, they're hard to work with, right? It's because this light here is the one above me. Hold on, maybe I'll turn that off. So, I'm not sure what side of the screen works best. There's a smooth side and a rigid side. I'm going to put the smooth side first. I don't know if that makes a difference. Kind of. I don't know, people. But from this distance, from what I can see, if I can find my mouse, what I want you to do is I want you to look in here. That's Amari giggling and squealing. He loves his bed. And I want you to notice this in here. Right? You can see that. It's kind of going. And I want you to notice. Where's my brush? I want you to notice this specific shape, which goes like this, and then it starts to curl. Right? But I'm going to have to move this in. So maybe if I just push the box, seems to work, right? I didn't move everything off my... I've been outside all day. Okay. Got out there before noon and didn't come in until I was done. Do you see what's happening here, people? I'll try and keep this as straight as I can. My eyes are not good anymore, okay? They're not. What happens if I move this in closer, just to the... right to the camera almost. What if I push the camera just a little closer? Do you see what's happening? I just want to turn this around and see what happens if I put the edge side. This is the one with the edges. Doesn't seem as bright or as clear now, does it? No, it doesn't. So we put the smooth side of this towards the camera lens. Alright. And then we're just going to move closer, because that seems to work. Without me enhancing the picture. Right? What I'm going to do... Okay, now this is where I need to be an octopus again. Because I'm holding the screen, you can see that. And I want to lift my camera up so that I can show you. I'm not going to get mad. Alright? I'm not going to get mad, people. I am going to put that down. Take this off one. Now I'm in the dark. I'm trying to level this for whatever reason. I don't know what's out of whack here, but something is. Could be my screen, could be anything. Right? You need a, what is it called? A level and a plumb line to make everything nice and horizontal and vertical. Only a plumb line can do that, and only a, yeah, you see, that's my screen, and only a, what do you call it, level can do that. Those are carpenter tools. Anyway, okay, we can't get too stressed out about that. We're not, that's not what we're looking at. See, I would prefer it like that. For the ones that want to learn something, they'll stick around. For the ones that know everything, they'll leave. Right? I'm just wondering if I put something underneath the camera just right here, if that would help without it falling. I don't want it to fall. We don't want the camera to fall. See, that's too much now. I don't know. Okay. Don't breathe. God forbid if this camera falls. Here's my brush. I have to go in behind the screen. Okay, what I want you to look at, where am I? Is that all this stuff in here. See, now we can see a little better. I'll just push the box with the camera closer. Alright, give it time to adjust. This is like looking at a negative of a picture, only it has color in it. Right? It's supposed to lighten the light spots and darken the dark spots so that you can distinguish what they are. are. Oops, this is, oh my god, if this camera falls, I'll be upset. And you can see it in here. Alright. I'm just gonna go a little closer, people. Because I want you to see this one. Because this, oops. Could you see me in court? More than a Denny Craig. Yeah. Okay. What I want you to see is how this one goes like this. And it comes out, goes like that. Now there's printing on my screen. Oh, there we're getting the pixels. There's printing on my screen, like on my camcorder screen, so it interferes with the picture for me. So it, again, it's a little harder, right? So what happens if I was to try this one? Oh, sorry about that. This is the other one. This is the one from the TV. You gotta have a lot of hand-eye coordination for this. Okay? This is the only way, people. I'm serious. I'm taking these videos to court. It's my evidence. Okay? Do you see what's going on there? Sorry. Of course, I would do that, right? Oh my. Where are we? There we go. There's just some things you can't deny. I want you to get a good look at it before I start changing what we're now. We're looking at that with the magnifying glass. I'm going to turn it around and see if it makes a difference. So the rounded part is facing now the computer screen. You can't put it on the screen itself. I was mowing today, people. My arms are weak. I haven't been feeling that great. I have to go outside again tomorrow. That's why I'm doing this now. Okay. Come on. I have to move with it. This is her skin turning black, people. Now, do you see that little dot in the middle of that? I don't have 8 arms. One is holding the magnifying glass. The other one is holding the camera as I'm resting on these books. But do you see that dot in the middle? Okay, we're getting real close to the screen again. And yeah, we can see the pixels, but we can also see everything else going on in there. Right? And look how it like I said, it crawls. Oops. You know? Do you see how it just curves off on its own? Just, you know, like a little, I don't know. Alright. Where am I? Sorry. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on this little dot right here. And we're going to see if we can enhance it so that you can see it better. Now, I'm just in exposure, so it's like a negative to a picture, so we're just going to change a few things and see what we get. Obviously, that doesn't work. What if we go this way? So, if we lighten the picture... Now, look at this. Look at this, people. Like, this is... Do you see what I'm seeing here? There is the thumb of Jerome and his hand. And look at the color of his skin. Now, he's a black man, and he's quite dark. You can see that this is his fingernail. But what do you see for ShaMay? What do you see? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, people. What is the difference between him and her? Is it because he's a black man and she's mixed? Or is it because he's got blood going through his system and she doesn't? No. So what we're doing is we're lightening it. I'm just going to keep lightening it, and you can see what happens. It takes a while before his turns yellow. I'm going to go back. Now you're going to see her hand materialize. Okay. Now you're going to see this. Remember? That's what we started off with. You see this. You see all that. You can see all this. You can see this down here. Okay. Now we're going to darken it just a bit to see what happens. Hand-eye coordination. Oops, didn't like that. Anyway, as we darken, all this goes, and the only thing that seems to be glowing is this part of her hand. This is a Band-Aid, by the way, people. This right here is a Band-Aid. I'm assuming that is their blanket. Okay? But being that that's too dark, we're going to go back. And as we go back, I'm just moving a little closer. You can see what's happening here. If I go in a little closer with this, right? It's important for people to understand that there's some shady shit going on in hospitals. My son seems to think I'm crazy. Well, not crazy. He didn't call me crazy. He called me insane. He said, "You're insane, Mom." I said, "Why am I insane?" He said, "Because Canada has the best healthcare system in the world." Well, one of them. Maybe not the best. Now I'm using the magnifying glass. You can see that. Right? There we go. You can see what you're looking at here. Okay. There's that dot right in the middle, which is the forming of a blister. Two of them now. Actually, I see two of them now. Now that I'm doing it this way, people. I'll move in just a little bit closer so that you can see it, even though I can see the pixels. Do you see how that turns? Okay. Oh, now I'm knocking everything down in the dark. I want to go down in here. I want you to see this. Oops, sorry. Here we go. Oh my God. Camera's falling out of my hand. Magnifying glass is falling out of my hand because my hands are weak, people. Right? I'm getting worn out. This is the only way. You can see what's going on in there. Oh, I don't want the mouse. There's always something, right? Oh, now I dropped the book. Where am I? Okay. Now, you don't see this with the naked eye, okay? You don't see this. One, you're not looking for it. And two, it's being covered up. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to change the brightness of it. And let's see what happens. Just this part. Nothing. Well, there is something though. That's the thing. Right? If I brighten it, this is the Band-Aid right here. This is a Band-Aid. Okay? This is yellow. This is an orangey red. And this is a hand. And you can just start to see the beginning of a fingernail. So what is the difference between the two skins? Do you see what's happening here? I'm just brightening it, people. Now we see his. And then it disappears because I'm almost right at the end. Now it's coming in. Okay, there's this thumb nail. You can see that. Don't see nothing in the background. That's the beginning of ShaMay's hand. You can see what's going on. You can start to see where it's dark, right? I like that. Oh, sure. Oh my God. No, I lost it. Scratching it, lost it. Oh my, it's because my hands are weak. That's why. And I'm straining again. It looks like there's another dot over there. There's actually two in there. You can see the one. The other one I'd have to enhance it again for you to see it. But if you look over there, you can see that there's another one going on. Do you see it? I mean, I can see it. Oh, my Lord. Where is it? It's right there. Right? Where are we? Okay. Another book just fell. Do you see that? It's another one. So I see 1, 2, and then there's another one up actually by the mouse. Further down would be 3, but you can definitely see that one in the middle. You can see what's going on. Okay, so now that my books are all scattered around, everything's been moved, we're going to change. I need to rest this camera. We're going to change this again. What we're going to do is we're going to darken it this time. Well, we can darken it like that. I'm just going to darken it some more. And now I'm going to lighten it now. See if it gives me a different result. No, it doesn't like that. Again, I'm not very good with this stuff, people. I've never done this before. I've never had to. Right? I've never had to do this, okay? It was not a necessity, but it is now. Because I would do it for any of my kids. I would do it for my grandkids. I would do it for Uncle John if I knew this is what they did to Uncle John. Okay? Alright, hold on. So, now there's a mid-tones. I'm going to move this around and we're going to see what we get. So if I go like that and then I darken it, watch what happens. Do you see what's happening here, people? There you go. Okay, I don't want to move the camera because I just want to rest for a minute. So I'm going to go with the mid-tone, which brings it like that again. And then I'm just going to darken areas. Okay, that, see, you went too far. So I'm going to bring the mid-tone back. I mean, you can see that. Yeah. I'm going blind and I can see that. Now, there are no lines as far as I can tell in terms of pixel lines. So these little lines that you're seeing in here are not coming from the camera. They're actually in the skin itself. So we've got coming in here, here. Obviously there's a big patch there curling off. There's shit going on in there, right? And then we've got it coming in down in here with blotching over here. And then over here, it's curling up because it likes to crawl. Right? I think it does better if I have it going this way. And then she has a open wound because the skin starts to open up and tear. Right, where is it? It's right there. You can see that. There's that wound. We'll just go in closer on it. Okay. Hold on. Now we're gonna, what are we gonna do? More mid-tone. See what that gets us. Okay, we're not altering the picture. We're just changing the negative in terms of how a picture is formed. There we go. You see? Obviously can't see too much over there, but when I lighten it, it might come out. You can see. Camera's probably not straight. There, now it's straight, I think. I'm back into gymnastics here. As Uncle John would say, I'm doing gymnastics. There's that. That's that Band-Aid. Now that we're there, we might as well look at it. Obviously, skin problems there. You can see it. If I just see, it's just... I'm trying not to shake, people. Not because this upsets me, because it does. Because I'm straining myself while I'm doing it. So what embalming does is just retards this process. It slows it down. It makes it so that you don't notice it. I basically got the camera lens right up to the screen again. We've been there, done that. And by doing it this way, this is what we see. That is the Band-Aid. And there's wounds in there that are red and black skin. So my son is upset because he seems to think that the healthcare system would not do such a thing in terms of embalming ShaMay. Because he was there when they turned off the machine and the color of her face changed. So how did that happen, people? Because they couldn't have been running oxygen through her face, okay, or through her body. Clearly her body is dead. Now I'm just bringing the midtones, which is distorted the whole picture, so we're just going to bring them back. Right. Now, I'd like to just darken it for the sake of darkening it just a bit, and then brightening it just a bit. See how it... But look, again, no skin tone. I mean, she's glowing. He's not. So what we can do is auto-fix. That is the original. Okay, that is the original picture. You can't really see what I just showed you. That's why I wanted you to see it first. Because now you know what you're looking at. It's right there. And you can see the dot in the middle. And obviously this is not, we're getting these pixels again. Oops, sorry. Oh my God. That is rattling my nerves. It's right in here. That hole, it goes, you can see it goes like that. And then right in the middle is that one particular blister. But there's another one over here, right? I can see it here. Here's those lines, right? Here's that wound. Here is the wound. Oops, sorry. Here is the Band-Aid, right? That's the end of, almost the end of the Band-Aid, but we got up real close and we seen what the heck was going on in there, right? I mean, if we go into his hand, this is a living human being hand, right? Remember, people have hair. So, let's see if we can see any hair. I don't know if he has hair on his fingers, but he's a black man. Not all black men have hair, a lot of hair. I'm just lightening it so we can look at his skin as a comparison. There's his nail. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is a live human being. This is what their hand looks like. But you can see what's going on with ShaMay's. And there's that other one right there. I am just going to, what, lighten it a bit? Look at ShaMay's. It's glowing. I'm looking for hair. You're not going to really find hair in the crease of your, in that part of your, but you might get a little bit there, depending on the person. Right? Some people are extremely hairy. But we can see what real skin looks like. This is what real skin looks like under a camera. That's obviously touching a dead body. He took off his gloves. He's spent every day with ShaMay. Him and Tisha spent a lot of time. Paige was there, but he was there, I think, almost every day. All day. But what's interesting is she glows. Like, that doesn't even make sense. So what happens if we go darker now? I'll just leave it at the brightness that we're at. His hand goes completely black, while hers is glowing. Remember these colors. Right. I'm just going darker. Now it just kicks out. There. Has had a chance to adjust. So his is faded out. And there you can see hers. Where's that magnifying glass? You can see the dot. It's still there. This one you won't see because it's been kind of faded out. Here we're a little closer, but we're getting those pixels again. And obviously I'm straining. It looks kind of weird. Huh. Alright. There's those round kind of black bumps. Because not everything is a blister. They get those too. That's what this up in here is. Do you see that? Again, right up almost to the computer screen. I'm going to pull back. My arms are sore, people. Okay. Now we're going to... Again, I don't know how to use these programs. Oops, I went brighter. We don't want brighter. We want like that. And then we want the monotone, or the midtones. What's happening? Based on this picture, look at his fingernail. ShaMay is lighter than him. Her hand should look like this. Not a big void of nothing. And this is where we're at with the program right now. Okay, that's all I'm doing, just moving these things around. Now I'm going to go a little darker, which just wipes everything out. So we're going to bring it back, but if you notice hers, now his nail comes in. Murray's still giggling. And now we're going into brighter with the dark areas. You wouldn't even know that he was holding a hand. Here's that. I'll bring it back. Bring back the mid-tone. Okay, so I think I made my point. I mean, there is no denying it. I almost slipped out of my hand off the book. You can see there's another blister forming just right there at the peak. There's the one in the middle. This one you can't see very well. Off the page, there is, where am I? I see it up in here. You can barely see it. This would be nice where somebody could move the mouse for me. I told Tisha if I ever get any money for this, because I'm taking it to court, I want her to leave the country. Take the kids and leave. I don't know where she'd go, because a lot of countries are corrupt. But they can add Canada to the list. Right? They have way too much money that they can waste to do shit like this, people, and nobody holds them to account. This is what taxpayers pay for. Right? So, I never noticed this before, but I notice it now. I don't know why I'm noticing it now, because I've looked at this picture many times. But if you notice here, it's like the shadow, I guess, from the blanket. Because that's still a part of ShaMay's hand. Right? There's her thumb. And there's the Band-Aid. You can see the Band-Aid. But I never noticed this shadowing. I didn't. there is that little blister right there in the crease. There's that one. And then we've got, well, you don't see it now because I've lightened the picture, right? And there's that one. Now that I've lightened the picture, you can see this better. This is her skin shaving off. This is what this is. And I have comparison pictures, which I will show you after I am done. Doesn't like it that way. I mean, you can't miss that. Right? What was I doing? What if I lighten it just a bit more? One is more red than the other. And we've got some issues going on down in here. And then we're going to go back up into the Band-Aid. There's the shadowing. And what do you see? I know what I see. Seems like a lot of blisters in there to me. That's what I'm looking at. Something black. You can see it right there. Black again. I'll just pull away. I know the camera's going zooey. Let's see. Just trying to hold it. Now those could be creases, but hard to say, right? Now I'm just going to darken it and see what we get. Where there's that shadow. Now I'm moving, I'm going to dark areas. I'm lightening it. She looks like a ghost. Camera doesn't like it. It's too bright. Come on. Stop it. These books are in the way. Where am I? Oh well. You get the idea. Here. You can't miss this. Other than that, people, if you look at his, okay, because ShaMay was extremely swollen. What's going on there? Superbugs? That's like when you have, like, you know, hair follicles. That's little hair, whatever, right? I'm using a magnifying glass. I don't know what that is. But this is real skin with a real person that's alive. Okay? Holding a dead person's hand that's been sitting in a hospital bed for 9 days. Right before the machine's going to be turned off, pretty much. You can see that shit crawling on the blanket. Or no, I'm sorry, that's not. The blanket's up there. What's happening is he's squeezing her hand, and it's ripping her skin. It's tearing. Okay? And there's that wound or whatever it is. It's not a wound. It's the skin opens up and it tears. But what do you see? This is what I'm trying to say. Do you see anything like what she has? You know? Right? This is a breathing human being, hand with hair follicles and whatever else going on there. And when you go to her, all you see is the beginning stages of her skin turning black. But other than that, you don't really see anything else. Because she was so bloated. Because she was embalmed, people. I'm lightening it now. I mean, you can see there's something wrong. So we'll go to autofix, and then what we're going to do is we're going to exit out of this. I'm going to clear it, and I'm going to bring the original picture up. Sorry. Which is right here. That's the original picture. You can see it. Now, if you look at her hand, it's what do they call it? When a person, you know, it's like clawed, right? You can see it's not natural. There's nothing natural about that. When they're embalmed, they set the body, and it pretty much stays that way. Although they have embalming fluid now where they can move limbs. Can they move fingers? Not necessarily so, but they can turn the neck to turn the head. Like they can turn the head to, you know, or maybe they can slightly move the arm, but they won't be able to bend the arm. So, you know, like you can see that it's just, it's like that. Very swollen. Tisha told me that apparently her and Paige were, it was after they took off the ice caps. I think she mentioned this to me a long time ago, but I didn't remember. Anyway, she reminded me today that they pulled back the covers right up to ShaMay's belly button. And she was extremely swollen and very hard. She said even her private parts were all swollen. But she covered them up with the blanket, but they looked at her body, and it was terrible. And they had her legs pretty much together, but because she was so swollen, they were kind of stuck together. Right? So here you can see it, and you've seen what I've done. Right? There's the Band-Aid, and then we get the shadowing. I have not zoomed into any of this and there. I'm not going to do that right now, people. I'm like really tired. It's 10:15. Like I said, I have to go outside tomorrow. And I'm sore. I've been sore. But it is what it is. So I'm going to upload this. And, oh yeah, I wanted to show you what I'm talking about. Sorry. Hold on. I already got them up. Let's bring this one down. If I can find them. Okay, these are blisters. It's not what we're really talking about right now, but these are blisters from a body. Do you see how the skin is slipping off? Right. This happens within a few days. This woman's going for an autopsy. Right. You can see that. That's not what I wanted to show you. Well, it is, but it's just very complicated. Okay. This one is called The Gross Cutting Room, episode 17. Oh, wow, isn't that interesting? Doesn't that look familiar, people? I mean, I don't have to enhance this one. This is a body that has not been embalmed because they did an autopsy on this person. This can happen within 8 to 12 hours, up to 2 to 3 days, depending on the environment. They like to cool down people to prevent this because in a warmer environment, it flourishes. ShaMay was in ice caps. Her whole body was under ice for 3 or 4 days. Okay. The excuse was they were trying to cool down her brain and her organs so that they could repair themselves. And they could save her life. All right. So what am I doing here? Seems to be, well, I guess it's the same one, but you can see how it goes, right? The skin is tearing away. That's what's happening there. Here's his knee. Here's, see, tearing away, and then it goes into the next layer, right? You can see. And it actually begins to fall. Flake completely off. And if you notice how smooth it is, I hate sirens. They're fake, people. You see what's happening here? Oops, sorry, wandering eye. Look how smooth that is. What you just looked at is this. Oops, sorry. Camera with their pixels. I don't know why it's way over the over here, but it is. You can see it here. Only reason... Oh, where's... The only reason it's not doing what you just seen in those other pictures, that autopsy going on, is because ShaMay's body was embalmed. They can retard it, they can slow it down, but they can't prevent it. I don't think this is shadowing. I think this may be shadowing. I think this may be shadowing. But I do not think that is shadowing. And when we got up close in there with the exposure, we know that there was something going on with that. Okay, so... I am going to upload this. Okay.